Imagine the perfect video store. It would have a great selection, right? Right! Over 10,000 videos. 3 evening rentals, so no rush, no hassle. Fast checkout. 24-hour quick drop return. Open late every night. Well, the perfect video store.
Welcome to Blockbuster Video.
Is popping up all over the country. There's one near you.
Blockbuster Video. Wow, what a difference.
All the mature, responsible things you could be doing. Helping old ladies cross the street, proudly maintaining your yard, hanging with your folks, or cleaning your room. But get real, you'd rather be playing video games. You can rent them from Blockbuster. They've got more of the coolest new Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Sega Genesis games for rent than anyone in the world. So dudes, why not get your games at Blockbuster? It's the mature thing to do.
It's new, it's here, it's RoboCop The Ride at Granada Studios Tour. Drive carefully.
Maybe we should go to another planet because Earth is kind of, strange.
People of all ages have long been fascinated by dinosaurs. In order to give people a new look at these amazing creatures, iWorks Studios has created Dino Island. This simulation film, produced for the iWorks Turbo Tour theaters, will give audiences the chance to visit a mysterious newly formed island where they will come face to face with its prehistoric inhabitants. In order to bring the story and its cast of characters to life, iWorks turned to Paris-based Ex Machina, one of the world's top computer graphics companies. Under the direction of Jerzy Kular, Ex Machina's team of animators, using today's most advanced technology, brought this adventure-filled story to the giant screen. Months of research and hundreds of drawings and motion tests helped breathe life into Dino Island's dinosaurs. The state-of-the-art animation, combined with the dynamics of the iWorks Turbo Tour seats, provide a ride simulation experience like no other.
The Chicago Loop, the scariest ride around. Rides for the little ones, a circus for everyone. Over 31 rides and attractions.
Old Chicago is the good time place.
Only 30 minutes from downtown.
A family can still afford to be a family.
So have an old Chicago day.
And this weekend, don't miss Old Chicago's Oktoberfest Carnival Party.
Hi, everybody. I'm Charlie Baffle, mayor of a great fun place, Old Chicago. You can live it upside down on our Loop roller coaster. Or how about our carousel? We even have lots of other rides, too, for the whole family. And the little people can have the time of their lives. And you can even see the star of the show. No, not her, silly. That's me, Charlie Baffle. We even have a full-time circus show and everything. There's even a disco party every weekend. All at Old Chicago. Yep.
Everyone's favorite magician, Mayor Charlie Baffle, the Windy City Wizard, performs dazzling feats of magic daily in the music hall at Old Chicago.
Woody Woodpecker is at Old Chicago with Santa. Free shows daily, 1, 4, and 7:30, all indoors in a yesteryear shopping center. Old Chicago in Bolingbrook.
To find out about the new Monster of the Midway ride at Old Chicago, we asked the people who know.
I rode on the Monster of the Midway, and now I can't sleep at night.
I got a real charge out of it.
The new Monster of the Midway is just one of 40 rides and attractions at Old Chicago, now open every day for the summer.
It's the first indoor high-rise world of fantasy and family fun. The world of Sid and Marty Krofft. Day or night. The year round. In downtown Atlanta, inside Omni International. Opening May 26th. Now all the fun is indoors. Reservations recommended.
Two housewives. We must have heard. Yeah, it's two housewives. They, you know. Hey, I thought they'd bring the kids. Right? They didn't even bring your kids.
So take the yellow brick road.
Sid and Marty Krofft, the originators and developers of this $20 million fantasy land, are very successful TV producers who've created the Puff and Stuff characters, among many others.
The place to be when we were kids. We used to go to the movies downtown. We used to go for walks downtown. We used to fool around downtown. And that's the one thing that's missing in the world today, is downtown. I'll tell you straight away that we believe, even though we're in show business, if the downtowns and the cities die, so does the rest of the world. And if we have a little contribution with the world of Sid and Marty Krofft in reversing that trend, I am glad that we did that. That is a trip for Sid and myself.
visual.
The power plant. For years it stood asleep by the water, but now it stirs to life. With the power to amaze you, the power to amuse you, the power to inspire you. Discover the world's most unique entertainment experience. The Power Plant in Baltimore's Inner Harbor. The power awaits you.
Well, we're going to come right back to Baltimore right now. They're doing something down at the harbor. The power plant, they have up this big sign. It's not an amusement
park.
You were there recently.
That's true. We're going to give you a sneak preview.
If you've been to the Inner Harbor lately, you've probably seen this site. The old Pratt Street Power Station is undergoing a $25 million transformation to become the new Six Flags power plant. Okay, we know it's not an amusement park. So what is it?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I thought it was a shopping center.
We're referring to Six Flags Power Plant as an urban entertainment facility.
Larry Norton is Marketing and Research Director for Six Flags in Baltimore.
Unlike our theme parks, this facility is downtown with the theme parks being primarily in the suburbs. The power plant doesn't have any rides. Obviously, our theme parks do, and the entertainment in the power plant is more appealing to adults and children with the lack of rides. It's much more show-oriented.
And it's got shows galore. Through this door is the Sensorium, a 3D film that lets you smell what you're seeing and also experience movement through body sonics installed in your seat.
So it's totally controlled sensory environment that is kind of unique in the industry. Then there's the Circus of the Mysterious. This is the area that our fictional character, Phineas Templeton Flagg, deposited all of the strange and curious things that he collected from all over the world.
There are food halls, games, and shops. Don't miss the Laboratory of Scientific Wonders.
There's also the Chamber of Science, where a fiber optic representation of Phineas Flagg will speak to you.
Phineas T. Flagg, by the way, is the mentor of Six Flags.
And then there is the Magic Lantern Theater. In essence, the Magic Lantern Theater is about a 20-minute vaudeville Broadway production that's totally animated with 72 characters.
Welcome, willkommen, bienvenue, buongiorno, and greetings. Got a lot of...
Meet your show hosts, Mr. Electro, the first electric man, and his sidekick Proto, short for Prototype.
As far as we know, it's the largest show outside of the Disney complex.
Larry Hilbert is Assistant Vice President in charge of production and research at Sally Industries in Jacksonville, Florida. Here is where the animated characters are being created. Quite an involved task.
We have, first of all, the design aspect and the fact that we have to have talented people who can sit down and do the drawings and so forth, and then the welders who have to meet the tolerances to those drawings, people who can put together pneumatic boards, other folks who can deal with fiberglass or vacuum-formed plastic products, fitting all those components together, and then, of course, the very special arts of making that mechanical-looking creature now a very attractive creature by adding paint and costume.
But Sally Industries isn't just working on animation. They're also creating other items for the Magic Lantern Theater, such as the set for America's Most Beautiful Girls. Employees are also working on the many pieces involved with the Coney Island Act. Although it looks a bit large here, this 8-foot diameter wheel will be dwarfed by the size of the theater stage. The 16-member staff in Jacksonville has its hands full. They are also responsible for the smell portion of the 3D Sensorium Theater at Six Flags, and they're perfecting one part of the Home of the Future show.
We got eggs dropping.
This contraption is the Great American 7-second chicken plucker and cooker. What will they think of next? You'll have to visit Baltimore's new Six Flags power plant to find out.
I think there are going to be so many things that are going to be so entertaining and so new to a lot of people that we think it'll be accepted extremely well. Many people will walk out saying, my gosh, how do they do that?
Well, the power plant is open 7 days a week as of July 1st from 9 in the morning to 10 at night. You have a lot of surprises left. And there's Jeff. What's next?
could know that the ship in the bottle was the Flying Dutchman. Even this tiny miniature seems doomed to repeat the cursed ship's terrible fate. But one of the mysteries in this circus...
Top of the morning to you. Say there, what are you staring at? You never seen a real live leprechaun before? Well, here I am. Oh, never did I think when I was a boy in Blockamara that one day I'd be living in Baltimora. It's a grand, grand, glorious town. I'll stay until I'm old, as long as I'm a-keeping me own pot of gold. I'll stay until I'm very old with me very own pot of gold. Well, I'd love to stay around and talk a while, but you know a leprechaun's work is never done. Farewell!
Here we have an example of a fountain mock-up produced at Technifex. As you can see, the water droplets appear to hold steady in space. And once the camera pulls back, you'll see the rest of the fountain. The lower fountain assembly was lit via fiber optics, so we could change the colors, and there were no electrical systems in the water. In a moment, you'll see the final scene. It's a jungle scene. The sculpting of the woman with the urn was also produced at Technifex. As you can see, the final look is water traveling up into the urn. This is Pandora's box, produced for Six Flags. The box itself is about 8 feet wide and 4 feet tall. It incorporates smoke systems, projection systems, fiber optics, hydraulic systems, and various mechanical assemblies.
The spirits grow in power with each passing minute. We must activate the spectral generator now!
Pandora's box.
This is a suspended tower. It's approximately 15 feet tall, and as you can see, it has rotating crystals and mirror assemblies. It has pulsing lights, chasing lights. Here we have what we call crackle neon. This tower is approximately 15 feet tall, and it is made of acrylic, glass, and brass. We produced 4 of these. This is an example of our neon work. It incorporates flow neon, which gives a continuous chase of light through a neon tube.
If you want to wrap yourself in old glory, you get yourself a brass band. If you want to grab the media spotlight, you put on a show. The Six Flags Corporation did all that and more this afternoon with ceremonies to mark the opening of its new power plant. Mayor Schaefer played his role to the hilt. He came dressed in a morning coat and acted very much like the proud father at his daughter's wedding.
And you know what we ought to do? We ought to all stand up and say to them, thank you, Six Flags, for putting in $28 million on the waterfront. We thank you.
By this time, all eyes at the waterfront were fixed on the show just west of the aquarium. The mayor walked to center stage and threw the switch to officially open Baltimore's newest attraction.
If there were no Harbor Place, no aquarium, no Busch Gardens or King's Dominion or Disney World, the Six Flags power plant would look pretty good. And it is pretty good, but the question is that good enough to make it in what has become a very competitive field? The power plant sparkles. Turning what it was to what it is incredible. And the kids who work there sparkle, with smiles the management won't let quit. It is clean and friendly and pleasant, and it will increase that critical mass of attractions that bring people to town. But you know how it is when a friend says a movie is great and you're disappointed because it's only good? The power plant is billed as not an amusement but an amazement, and it's not really all that amazing. It's a pleasant way to spend a couple of hours, a nice place to shop with a full array of t-shirt emporiums and caricaturists, but perhaps not a lot better than Harbor Place, which you don't have to pay to get into. True, the power plant has some pretty dazzling light shows, put in the context of the future as seen by Phineas Flagg, and one in particular, Pandora's Box, is probably guaranteed to give your kids nightmares as a souvenir. The Sensorium is my choice as the best of the shows, with its smells and 3D thrills which make it feel as though the earth moves. But the food is pretty ordinary at best, limited to ice cream at $1.50 a shot, Cokes and beer for 95 cents and $1.25, and brownies which are good and ought to be, since they are by Ms. Dessert and brought over from Harbor Place. And for a place saying it's not an amusement park, it's surprising to find cotton candy. There's a video arcade, which doesn't show a whole lot of imagination, and a not unprecedented skee-ball area, for which you pay extra, and one imaginative concession where you can have a picture taken which puts you on the cover of the magazine of your dreams for $9.95. And speaking of money, there's that matter of the price of admission. Is it worth $8 or $6 for kids? It'll cost a family of four upwards of $40 or even $50 to park, enter, and eat there for an afternoon, and that's hard to justify, except perhaps for tourists. But there's no reason to be mad at the place or to wish it ill. All entertainment is expensive. You pay prime rib prices if you like the product. Each of us can decide whether this option gets our business. I'm Andy Barth, at large for News Scene 2.
Six Flags AutoWorld, a totally new world with something for everyone. The past, the future, fun stuff, scary stuff, indescribable stuff. Six Flags AutoWorld, leave the real world behind. Citizens Bank invites you to catch the spirit of AutoWorld after 5. Just buy your ticket at AutoWorld any evening after 5 p.m. and enjoy all of the fun, adventure, and excitement for just $5 per person. Children 3 and under are free. So visit Six Flags AutoWorld after 5 p.m. and enjoy up to 5 hours of fun for just $5. Sponsored exclusively by Citizens Bank, where you'll find the new spirit in banking.
Catch the spirit.
I believe that today, July 4th, 1984, is the first day of the rebirth of the great city of Flint.
We were just on our way back from a campground, and we remembered there was opening today, so we stopped last night and stayed at the Hyatt over here and came today.
A lot of the advertising and that sort of thing made us come out.
They came from all over and for many different reasons to celebrate AutoWorld's grand opening.
There have been some people in Detroit talking about AutoWorld opening. I wasn't aware of it. And then there was a big spread in Detroit news.
The advertising did its job, attracting people from all over this state and others. The crowds not too bad at first, but things did stack up, especially at the IMAX Theater with its screen 6 stories tall. The wait in line depends who you talk to.
Probably close to an hour, about 40 minutes.
Do you think it'll be worth it?
Well, I hope so.
We've been here 2 hours, but this is the first thing we've seen, so we're impressed, though. It's very nice.
Although some lines were long, the grand opening crowd was generally good-natured and gave AutoWorld some good reviews.
I'm a history buff, and automobiles are what made Michigan, and that's what I like about it.
The movie was really neat. It took a while to get it going because we were the first crowd in there, but it was really neat.
It's got its own unique atmosphere.
What do you think about it?
Well, I like the rides. We just went on this antique thing, and it showed us about the beginning of cars and junk. And it showed us how the space age cars are going to look like.
It's very entertaining, and I think it's for both adults and children.
This is the most authentic of the old buildings along Saginaw Street. It's a replica of Flint City Hall, but you won't find anybody talking politics inside. Instead, you'll find a 350-seat theater, the perfect place to find the car of your dreams.
That's the actual title of a 15-minute film created by Californian Bob Rogers, who's an Academy Award nominee. It combines excerpts from 135 television commercials on the car, selected out of thousands of commercials produced over 35 years. But it's not the only film to watch at AutoWorld.
Chuck, the best way to describe the second one is think big, and I mean big. These people are waiting in line for the IMAX Theater, where the screen is 6 stories tall and 75 feet wide.
It's one of only a handful like it in the world, and our camera couldn't begin to do it justice. You'll be engulfed by a film about our fascination with speed. The IMAX will seat 500 people. The film was specially created for AutoWorld, and in talking to the pre-opening crowd, we found it was a favorite.
I like the big screen. It's scary and makes you oozy, but I liked it. It was fun.
I think it's outstanding. It's one of the best attractions of the whole place.
I like the 3D movie the best. I liked it when you went down the roller coaster. It seemed like you were really on it.
You may not break any speed records in this 1910 Stanley steamer, but you will have fun traveling through a love affair on wheels, where you'll find 22 cars displayed in the atmosphere of their time. They do skip across the years, like this 1925 Indy-style race car, this 63 Corvette Stingray, and this 58 Buick Limited, with everything in between and beyond. This Ford concept car doesn't even have a model year, since it's not yet in production.
Karen, the catchphrase from Detroit the past couple of years has been downsizing. The automakers have been telling us that bigger isn't necessarily better, except, of course, if you're building a V6 engine for AutoWorld. The designers of this 3-story high engine definitely weren't worried about the gas mileage. They were more concerned that visitors to AutoWorld leave with an understanding of just how that engine under their car's hood operates. It weighs 10 tons and actually works. With sections cut away and special lighting, you can see spark plugs firing and fuel moving through the system. To give you a better idea of just how gigantic this engine is, consider these facts and figures. The flywheel is as tall as a basketball hoop, the radiator fan is even bigger, and the oil filter is 2.5 feet long. If you wanted to put this engine in a car, the chassis would have to be at least 150 feet long. The engine is located just off the dome in the rotunda, part of the Automotive Wonders display. Other exhibits are along the sides, including a computer game to design your own car, and another to test your reaction time behind the wheel. There's also a drinking and driving test. Based on your weight and how many glasses of beer or wine you'd like, it computes your blood alcohol level. The only question left is, will you make it home safely? The computer answers that too. The total price tag for Automotive Wonders is $1 million. As you head out of the rotunda, you can turn left and find the Great Race, or pass through a lobby full of old car insignias and continue on to the Wonder Wall.
Don't worry, Karen and I will be showing you them all, but first things first, and it's off to the Wonder Wall.
Chuck, the Wonder Wall's a couple of dozen displays, one after another, on a spiral ramp to the second floor. The official name of this colorful and eye-catchy exhibit is Getting There. You can spend as little or as much time as you want examining all its bits of information.
Ford speeded the Model T's production with the...
There's everything here from the corporate fathers of the auto companies to Flint and the industry's contribution to World War II.
Ambulances, including those built in Flint.
It's educational, yet entertaining. With the push of a button, displays light up, and new generations learn about ration stamps from the war years, or hear an auto worker talk about the big sit-down strike in '37. The exuberant years chronicle the effect the car has had on our lives, from suburbs to shopping centers to motels and drive-ins. A computer display matches cars with the country they come from. Another looks at advances in design. Indy pace cars also brighten the show. The average stay at AutoWorld is expected to be about 5 hours, but the amount of time you spend in places like the Wonder Wall can easily shrink or stretch that guesstimate. You can get a real feel for state-of-the-art technology in the assembly line on the second floor of the old IMA auditorium. On a moving conveyor belt, you get a musical tour of the line. It's 7 layers deep and a real challenge for the eye to catch it all.
Look at how far the industry's come. But Fred, well, he thought the automobile was just a passing fad.
He's Fred, the carriageless horse, our host for the humorous history of automobility. The first of 2 dark rides we'll explore tonight.
Why, even during the toughest of times, we've been quite a comfort to our poor, pitiful, two-legged...
Even with his grumbling, Fred does admit the automobile gets credit for getting humans off his back.
Well, Lizzie, I think we'd better take a break now while our audience travels on to their tour of AutoWorld's history of automobility.
The humorous history starts right at the beginning with the caveman's invention of the wheel. It's a 6.5-minute ride with more than 70 characters full of delightful animation.
It's 4 people to a car that individually rotates, so you don't miss a thing. Still, there's an incredible amount to absorb traveling through 18 different episodes of man's encounter with the automobile or other inventions that came at the same time.
The animation's a thrill to watch. Look at this man on his fantastic flying machine, and this woman clutching her apple pie as she contemplates a jump from the burning Flint Hotel. With the costumes and makeup, there's a sense of realism everywhere you look.
The clanking and grinding of the auto factory sounds real, and lo and behold, there's Fred at the controls. It seems he's coming around after all.
The humorous history doesn't stop at the present. Here's a look at what's in store. A spaceman with personalized windshield wipers, and Celluloid, the dealing droid. Would you buy a used spaceship from this man?
less than 1 minute from the implosion.